bam, 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 bam. Welcome, 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 everyone. And I know we're a little bit late, but good things are always worth waiting for. And we have got a cracking show for you today. But first of all, let me welcome back my associate co-host, the wonderful Karen Woods. How are you, darling?
Hello, everybody. It's lovely to be back and be with you all this morning. Looking forward to it.
And it's lovely to have you with me. It's such a pleasure to have you back again. I do enjoy working with you, Karen. You're such a gentle but confident soul with plenty to say. And that is something that is absolutely, absolutely important in this world. So thank you for coming on again to co-host the show.
My pleasure.
What have you been up to? Because you abandoned me last week.
I
so what have you been up to?
I abandoned you last week for lovely Poole in Dorset. I spent the weekend there working. So I was travelling back the morning of the show. So I couldn't, I couldn't have popped on because I was on good old British Rail.
Yeah, we know what the signal's like on them.
Absolutely.
So how is the lovely Laurie?
He's fine. He's very well. We had a great weekend. Fabulous church. If you're around the Poole area, check out Poole Christian Spiritualist Church because it's amazing. I work with the lovely Val Hood and we had a really wonderful weekend. So it's really nice.
Fabulous. Good. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I do hear so much about Poole. One of my circle members who lives in France used to go to Poole.
Yes.
Yeah. It's such a small world thanks to this wonderful technology.
It is. Well, he goes viral, does our Laurie. So like us on SPTV. So yeah, it's good. It's very good.
I'm not sure he'd be happy about being described as going viral, but we know what it means if nobody does. But thank you for coming back, darling. And
my pleasure. My pleasure.
To have some company, someone to talk to, and actually. We have got company today as well, because waiting for these in the green room with the lovely producer Richard. We've got Marie Pointing waiting to come on and say hello to us and talk about some things. But of course, we've got some lovely people on the internet, on Facebook and YouTube waiting to say, sorry, darling? She's drunk all of the wine and the Christmas.
Oh, dear.
I'll hurry up and say hello to everyone who's online on Facebook and on YouTube. But please, my friends, please remember to share, to like, to subscribe. If you're on Facebook, you can throw in the likes and the smiles and the wonderful reactions. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe, you can share, you can do all of these wonderful things just to get the message out that
Absolutely.
the lovely Karen and me and the gorgeous Richard in our ear is waiting to say hello and bring the spirit to you. We've got messages, we've got announcements, we've got the lovely Kate May today. We've got the upcomings of the week because of course we like to let you know what's going on this show. But let's start by saying good morning. So who have we got, Karen?
We have Dawny Walden. So good morning and a lovely warm welcome to you on this wonderful Monday. It's lovely to have you on board. Christine Davis. Good morning, Christine. Lovely to see you on here. And I love your picture with all the beautiful flowers around you. So it's lovely to have you on board too. Fabulous. Stace Shaw. Hello, Stace. Nice to see you. Lovely to be with you this morning. Thank you for coming on. Oh, it's so nice to have all the family back together. Hello, Nicola. Nice to see you. Fabulous. And she's saying morning to Stace as well. Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. All these bright and breezy people on a Monday morning. Hello, Tiffany. Nice to see you too. Lovely to see you.
Nice picture.
Yes, lovely picture. Oh, Nicola and Stace are having a bit of conversation. Mavis McDonald. Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Lovely.
Morning, Mavis.
Morning.
Yes. So, Mavis, if we have got a schedule on the Facebook page and on the website, Glenda is on annual leave right now. But Debbie is on in the evenings. I think that was Friday, if memory serves me, that I was showed my picture of my dogs when I was on with Debbie. Debbie is on Friday evenings, and it's me and Karen this morning. And Karen's standing in for Glenda, because Glenda is on Australia and on her annual leave for a month. So the lovely Karen's come to look after me and keep me in check. But if you go onto the schedule on Facebook and on the website, my darling, you'll never be lost. It's all written down for you.
Lovely. Well, stay with us, Mavis, because we've got a lovely morning show to come. So
Okay.
lovely.
Morning to you, Mavis, my new friend. You're keeping me in check last week.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Amy.
Not me. I can hear calling as well.
Someone. It's spirit calling to say good morning. Someone's got a call coming in, and it's but it ain't me. I've turned me. But there we go. Julie Caswell, good morning to you. See you tomorrow.
Oh, I love Julie's pussycat on her picture.
Beautiful. Hello, Tiffany.
Hello, Tiffany. Oh, Margaret Anderson. Hello, Margaret. More beautiful pictures as well. Hello, Shiv.
Hi, Shiv.
Morning. Lots of people coming on. Hello, Paul. We're all doing all right.
Morning, Paul. Good to see you, my friend.
Nice to see you. Hello, Limo.
Yeah, I knew Limo would put us right on the timekeeping. She does that.
Oh, right.
We're just making sure it works for you, darling.
Oh, Nolene from North Queensland, Australia. How lovely.
Good morning, Nolene.
Linda Brown, morning.
Morning, Mum.
Oh, is that your mum? Hello, Kelly. Oh, it's nice that your mum tunes in, Nick. I like that.
She's a supporter.
Oh, that's wonderful. Hello, Chrissy. Lots of hearts there. Thank you. Hello, Leanne.
Morning, Leanne.
Oh, isn't it nice? Hello, Valerie.
Morning, Auntie Val. It's a family affair.
I was about to say it's a family affair this morning. How lovely. Hello, Alison. Hello, Wendy. Oh, look, she's laughing. That's lovely. First thing in the morning. Wonderful. Hello, Eunice.
Eunice may as well be an auntie.
I was going to say, is this family as well?
She is a member of my church and that family. So yes, she may as well be Auntie Eunice.
Oh, lovely. And we got Julie from Scotland. Hello. And Amanda Banks.
Hi, Amanda. Good to see you. And good morning to everyone who has said hello and we haven't had a chance to say hello.
Absolutely. Good morning, all.
I'm sure Kaz is sitting in the background saying hello somewhere, getting a comment lost by engaging in chat with everybody rather than that's what they're like. I tell you what, it's really, really great. If you look on the various different platforms, so Facebook and YouTube, they've got their own independent conversations going on.
Oh, how nice.
It's wonderful because it's that community feeling, and it is a great opportunity to come together. And of course, today we've come together to brighten your day, but it doesn't mean to say we can't share education and upliftment.
Absolutely.
Because we, of course, have been discussing what we'd like to bring into the fore today. And we had a chat with Marie as well, and it ties in beautifully with what she's going to be talking to us about in a short while. But we were talking, weren't we, about personal responsibility?
Yes. Definitely.
And how it is a very favoured principle within spiritualism.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, the family gets bigger every week. I'd say. You know what? I don't take personal responsibility for all of the kids that I've got out in the world because I haven't actually got any, but you'd think I have. By the way everyone connects in together in SPTV and in all the other stuff I do. And I think it's really, really great that community feel. But there is, of course, when it comes to building communities, there is a phrase that springs to mind, which is about behaviors,
Mm.
actions, and consequence.
Mhm.
And of course, that ties in very much with the themes of personal responsibility. One of the things, and I'm sure you're the same, Karen, when we talk about personal responsibility, 9 times out of 10, someone will jump up and say, "Oh, that's my favorite principle. That's my
Yep,
favorite principle."
definitely.
I think everyone is so on board with personal responsibility. But
Yeah.
the question I have for you, my love, is do you think that's always the case?
Do you know, it's a difficult one, because personal responsibility is one that you can probably relate to. It's the one that stands out, and it's in the middle. It's number 5, so it's sort of in the middle, and it's very real. It's very physical, because it's talking about our responsibility on this journey on earth. But sometimes you know, what we put out with personal responsibility is sometimes not always what we feel. And sometimes we have to think about those thoughts and those feelings, because they also have an action and a consequence as well.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we have to own up to our part in things. So, say, for instance, in arguments, in disagreements, and also our part in coming together as a community in the things that we do as well. And it's a very much it's a hard one. It takes me back to a story actually that happened to a friend of mine about her son. Her son was going for a very difficult time at school, and he didn't want to go to school because of the way he was perceived at that time in the school. And but he was a very strong young man for his age, and he sort of stood up. He said, "No, I'm going to face the people that are being horrible to me, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do it." And it's like he suddenly got that strength, and he took that step and took the responsibility as not to walk away, but to face the people that were sort of slinging mud at him at the time. And she told me that he walked through those school gates with his head held high, as if to say, "This is me and this is who I am, and I'm going to take responsibility for that." So that's one way of looking at it. But we've also got to look at what we do and what we say, and how sometimes something flippant can come out of our mouths and it can hurt another human being, or our actions hurt other people's. And I think we have to think about what we say and what we do and how we think as well, and maybe not be so judgmental in this life, because you don't know what that person's going through. You don't know what they're, you can see a person, and I think you've got to think before you act and think before you speak,
Absolutely.
and just get to know the situation, that person, what they're going through. And likewise, they have to do the same with us as well.
Absolutely. It is very much a two-way street. And, I love what Julie Caswell, I half expected something would come from you, Julie, bless your heart, darling. Personal responsibility, a way I try to live my life. Do I always succeed? That's another
Yeah.
question. But I think surely acknowledgement that we don't always get it right it's not a buyout, but an acknowledgement that there is effort involved, and that
Yep.
it isn't as simple as people make it out to be. I often, and because it is one of the 7 principles, I often throw back to the fact that the 7 principles are actually a summary of the original 10 spiritual. I was talking to Richard about this yesterday. The 7 principles are a summary of the original 10 commandments and ways of living that were given by Spirit to Emma Hardinge Britten. And although it's number 5 and it's 1/7 of the principles, when you actually read those 10 spiritual commandments that Spirit gave her, and very much the ways of living, it is all about taking ownership and responsibility for one actions. I'm not going to sit here and read them all out, because
No.
we've only got till 12:30, and frankly, it had taken till 1 o'clock to get through them all.
Yeah.
But remember that a wrong done to one is a wrong done to other. And apparently the way I talk more like 3 o'clock. Thanks, Richard. Um, but I always go back to I know you love me. I love you too, darling. But I always go back to number 10 because it is the first and last duty upon earth and all through life shall be to seek the principles of right, live by them, live to the utmost power, and whatever creeds, precepts, or examples conflict with those principles, shun and reject them, however, remembering the laws of right are in morals, justice, in science, harmony, in religion, the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man, and the immortality of the human soul. So it really does. So the 10 spiritual commandments really do put more of an emphasis on that one particular fifth principle in that summary. Kelly Roquette is asking, what are the 7 principles? This is important because there is a difference between psychism and mediumship and the religion of spiritualism.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people get a little bit prissy about the ownership of what is belonging to who. But certainly the 7 principles are a guide to life given in summary form by Spirit to Emma Hardinge Britain, that are basically the ways of living for those that call themselves spiritualists. That's not to say that they're the same in every country. I think Australia has 7, but America has 8. Some places have 5. In actual fact, when she was given them, it went from 4 to 6 to 10 before she came up with the summary. But they are available. If you search for the 7 principles of spiritualism, you will find them in full list. But we at because I'm part of the Independent Spiritualists Alliance, we've reworded them for the modern era, because rather than the fatherhood of God, it's the parentalhood of God and the kinship of the human family. It means the same thing. It's just that the 7 principles were written in the Victorian times. So, sometimes people reject things based on words rather than meaning, I think. And that's where it comes into the taking responsibility of actually looking into things and taking ownership of things within this way of life.
There has been quite a lot of controversy about changing them and what have you, because they also form the foundation of the Spiritualist National Union. It is their memorandum of association, so it's the foundation of that organisation.
Absolutely.
And they're put up in all the churches, and when people do addresses in the church, the speaking part of the divine service, we are encouraged to touch on those principles, to talk about. And what I try and do, and I'm sure you do, Nick, is actually bring them into our everyday lives, because yes, they were written a long time ago, but I'm quite passionate about them as they are, and I don't want them to be changed. I want them to sort of stay the same, because they're sort of like a constant. But you can break them down, you can talk about them in lots of different ways, and you can bring them into everyday living. I mean, I did a talk last night about planting seeds and about growing your own life and what we do in our lives, and how planting seeds in our minds can help and progress and move people forward. And then I tied it up with eternal progress is open to every human soul. So, and there's many talks I've done on personal responsibility, bringing in stories, because I'm passionate about telling philosophy in a story, because a child gets engaged in a story and so do adults, and you remember the moral of the story. So that's how I tend to do things.
And I have to admit, I agree with you, because because obviously I think for reference of people, we are part of different organizations.
Yes, we are.
So I have no problem with updating the wording, because I'm not bound by the rules of the SNU.
No.
And I do feel for them constantly getting the critique of you should change them, update them. They are now legally statute, because they are part of the memorandum.
That's right.
The articles of association as a charity committee, and that is how they are bound to that. The SNU 7 principles have changed since I was a member, because of that same process of becoming a charity. They had to lose with liberty of interpretation. And personally, for me, I think that is why nobody cared too much about fatherhood or brotherhood in the interim period, because it was with liberty of interpretation. But that's not a very legal term. So the point is, if you speak in your philosophy about life, this is the beauty of the 7 principles, because they do touch on everything.
Absolutely. And you can just look at it differently. And sometimes when you know, I feel for people that go into the church, because they see the 7 principles and they think, what are they? And sometimes, you know, for a while, I didn't know what they were or where they came from or anything like that. It was only later on in my development that I started to learn about them. And it's part of the journey of discovering yourself, and you understand that. And personal responsibility is one, I think, that really touches you, because you understand it. It's real. You're dealing with it in everyday life. And it's one that is very often spoken about, you know.
Definitely.
And I think we have to think about it more. We really do.
We do. And I even though we come at the 7 principles from different angles, the bit that matters is what we agree on. And I think if different organizations and different groups approach the subject from that viewpoint, there would be a lot less difficulty in promoting the 7 principles and those tenets that existed before as well, because I see them as bullet heads, but that the 10 commandments are the depth and the breadth and help explain it more like philosophy. But Chrissy Wheatley has just said, I think we take personal responsibility of our actions and how we say things to other people. And if we are wrong and it causes them harm or someone's feelings, we should apologize for hurting them, because sorry is just a 5-letter word. I agree with you, but they should also mean it. You know, and that's that. I think meaning is part of the process of responsibility. It's the meaning of it, isn't it?
Yeah, well, lots of people do, Julie. They want a modern version to go alongside them. Lots of people do. I think years ago, if my memory serves me correctly, the Spiritualist National Union had a sort of a subcommittee called Spirit of Youth, and one of my friends was involved in it, and they changed them basically. And I think, if I remember rightly, the 5th personal responsibility basically said they changed it to the buck stops here. Which is another good way of looking at it. You know, the buck stops here.
Absolutely. And I remember I was actually on the East London District Council of the SNU when Spirit of Youth started. That's how long I've been around. Although I've moved away now, it meant that the group that I was with had the freedom to update to a modern version. But I think it's really important, even as someone who's done that, the meaning has not changed.
No, that's right.
It's just the ability to reach people in a world where times have changed. I mean, one of the things that we spiritualists do frequently is criticize other religion. For changing things constantly and losing the meaning behind them. I think you've always got to be careful to make sure that if you are going to make a change, the meaning doesn't leave and it allows other people to come into it. And Jilly Erickson has said, when man rewrites guidance sent from Spirit, doesn't it then become what went wrong with so many world religions? I actually agree with you, which is why I worked with Spirit, because as a medium, I was doing as I was told. Those that I work with and those that I talk to said they're not reaching the young people because thee and thy and thou and they is off-putting. So I got rid of thy and put you. I got rid of thee and said I. And when it comes to the fatherhood of God, I simply called it the parenthood of the Spirit, which means the same and more. So I think, once again, I take responsibility for my actions.
Yeah.
It will not suit everybody, but I also think it will reach out to more, and it means the same thing. And as you said, the spirit of youth were doing the same thing,
Yeah.
making it understandable.
Yeah. Do you know what's wonderful is that, as you said, you and I come from, we're both spiritualists, but we come from different sort of paths
Groups.
of it, different groups, different associations. But we both, the core of what we believe is there, and we can talk about our thoughts and come together in the form of discussion, and that's what I love. And you know, when years ago, when I was first involved in spiritualism, I I was brought up Christian, you know, C of E, and I used to go to Sunday school, and I was very interested in religion. I actually enjoyed RE. My mates didn't, but I did, because it sort of, I like the question of it, I like the study of it, I like the stories behind it. And I sat when I was sitting in meditation one day, and I said, so what is the right religion? What is the right religion? And I just was shown all paths lead to God.
Yes.
All paths lead to God. And it doesn't matter where you come from in the world. Basically, all paths lead to the, you'll get that, you'll get the divine. And that's but we just go because of our, where we were born, different cultures, different, we come into things as adult. I was an adult when I came into spiritualism, but brought up in the Christian faith. So all these things happen, and it doesn't matter, but we all bring some color and culture into that pathway. And it's interesting to listen to other people's stories, other people's adventures on that pathway, and that's what I love about it. But why, what, you know, and I love listening to that. And I think that's, you've got to have an open mind in life. You've got to have an open mind, and you've got to listen, because you learn something when you listen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more, my darling. And yeah, I'm with you. I do love the fact that even though we come from different directions, we recognize that all, I tell you what, the
Yeah.
Romans got one thing right: all roads lead to
To
Rome.
Rome.
You know, and in our sense,
Yeah.
all roads lead to spirit. And so long as you take that care and attention and personal
The
responsibility, you know, I've got to say, if I could go back to Pearl Milligan's comment, Richard, a very good point about saying sorry, and that sorry is a simple word to say.
Yeah.
But it should be meant. But Pearl Milligan says, if we're gaslit enough or conditioned enough, we say sorry for the wrong reasons. And I think, as spiritualists and people who recognize these kinds of things,
Yeah.
it's not the person that's being gaslit or conditioned that needs to feel and be sorry. And I think feeling and being are two spirit senses that don't actually get mentioned very often, that should get more. Feeling and being are stronger than seeing and hearing, because if you feel and you be, you will never, ever, ever be deceiving yourself or others. And certainly when you are gaslit and conditioned, you will end up apologizing things that are not actually your responsibility. So that is a
Yeah.
very valid comment, Pearl, and thank you for sharing it, because it
Yeah,
is
it is a valid comment. Yeah. The thing is, sometimes when these things are happening to us, we suddenly, we're because we're not aware of it, because we're having influences and things from other people, and then all of a sudden, sometimes you have like a moment where you suddenly realize that it's not you, it's others. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
So we have got a wonderful pause screen. It's not as good as the first pause screen, bless her heart, but it's still beautiful nonetheless. Oh, she's hung up. Oh no, I can hear you, darling. Right, that's good. So we have got a pause screen. Unfortunately, the video has stopped working, but we can still hear the voice, which I think is the most important thing. So welcoming to the screen now, our guest for today, the lovely Marie Ponting. I nearly did it again. Marie Ponting, are you there?
morning, Nick. Good morning, Carol.
Morning, Marie. Lovely to hear your voice and have you with us.
Thank you. I'm pleased to one of me picking my nose or something. You know, worse.
So it could have been, couldn't it, Dol?
Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh, you're
lovely.
still there.
So, welcome to the show. Now, I know we spoke before about healing, which is your passion and purpose, and how that ties in with personal responsibility. But for those that have never met you before, what's your name? Where'd you come from? What'd you do?
Okay. My name is Marie, or as channeled by Bridget, Astara. My business is called Self-Discovery with Astara. It's all about people exploring their own journey, their spirituality, their gift. I run soul healing sessions, womb healing ceremonies. I write spiritual meditation courses and deliver those as well. I run healing wand workshops that were also channeled by Goddess Bridget. I do one-to-one and couple meditations and crystal healing and goddess dance workshops.
It really sounds exciting, Marie. Do you know what? I've noticed recently that there's a lot of people out there that really need a lot of healing at the moment, and I'm sure that you help them, the people that come to you. But have you noticed that? Have you noticed that there's been more people in need of healing with the work that you do?
Very much so, very much so, and also healing ancestral lines, healing past lives. That's become very apparent probably in the last sort of 2 months. There seems to have been a shift in consciousness, which is wonderful, and people are wanting to explore that and realizing that healing things from the past life are very beneficial in this life, and getting to the root, you know, moving the energy around the body. What's the emotion they're holding? Where is that come from? What is it that's stuck that needs a bit of a move to come up for healing?
Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? Sometimes these things lay dormant within us for a while. You know, it's interesting. How did you start? I'm always interested in how people started their journey. So how did you start your journey?
When I was born, I believe, really. And then 19 was when I first experienced a past life, and it was enough to scare me into submission for 10 years. I was absolutely terrified at what I'd just seen. I couldn't wrap my head around being here before. And then life got very busy. And then at 29, I had a bit of another awakening. And then in my mid-30s, I'd gone to Avebury Ring, which is only about 45 minutes away from me in Wiltshire. And I was told to feel the stones. It was appalling. I'd woken up. We had no plan on going to Avebury that day. And I said to my husband, we need to go to Avebury. He said, sorry, where's that? And I just knew where to go. And that's where I went. And I placed my hands on the stones, and it was like a bolt of lightning is the only way I can describe it, really. And from there on in, I just do what I do. I've been to Glastonbury studying. I've been up to Arthur Finley studying, to really empower people to connect with spirit themselves as well. That's a really important part of my soul purpose, is to be, you know, empowering people to connect themselves, because my belief is everybody has this. We're all born with it. So opening it up and using it in this life to be beneficial.
The wonderful thing about Avebury is you can actually walk around, can't you? And I went there a few years ago and I absolutely loved it. And you can walk around and touch the stones and be with them. So it's different than when you go to Stonehenge, because you can't go and touch them, you just walk around. But Avebury, you can sit there and just feel the energy of the stones and the energy of the place, because it is a beautiful place.
It's beautiful. I do like going to Stonehenge. I find that a very masculine energy, whereas I feel Avebury is very feminine. When I've done solstice at Stonehenge, the energy is really very beautiful. But there's an awful lot of people, because it's only twice a year that they open the stones. I've been up and done a sunset walk around the stones, and that sort of a private viewing, if you like, and that was very, very powerful. Both beautiful places.
Lovely, lovely.
We've actually got a lovely question here from Kim Byrne. What is womb healing? Because you mentioned that in your intro. What actually is womb healing?
Okay, so womb healing, that's the area that we keep all our emotions. We store all our emotions in our stomach area. And also, that's where we grow. We grow life. There's lots that happens. There's endometriosis, there's childbirth, there's abortion, there's miscarriage. There's so many things that can happen in this area of our beautiful bodies, as well as birthing. Birthing can be quite traumatic for a lot of people. I have 5 children, so I've experienced a wonderful birth and a very traumatic birth at the same time. But letting go those feelings is very, very difficult, and that can also be ancestral lines as well. When you think of the womb, you were in your mother's womb, you're in your grandmother's womb. It goes back ancestral, and we hold on to those traumas within that area. So releasing the energy, releasing the trauma from that area is very, very empowering and exceptionally powerful as well.
Brilliant.
Did that make any sense, or did I ramble? I'm quite passionate.
No, you made absolute sense.
That was wonderful. Wonderful explanation.
So, if as a man of, shall we say, manhood, how would you apply that? I've got a sneaking suspicion based on what you've already said. As a male person, how would you apply that healing, say, for example, to myself?
Do you know what? I'm glad you asked that question, Nick, because as soon as I finished talking, I thought I didn't talk about the male, because the male still has that area. It's called the ha-ha. That's the area. They still hold their emotion there. And I did this healing on my husband, and my husband is a man who doesn't cry. He struggles in showing his emotion. That's something he's working on. That's his journey. I'm helping him with parts of it, but it's his responsibility. He's taken personal responsibility for his healing. And I did this healing on him. And we've been together for 15 years, and he cried. That's only the second time in 15 years my husband had cried, because he'd released. He doesn't yet know what it was that he'd released, whether it was his experience of being birthed, or whether it was holding emotion that he'd stored in that area, in the solar plexus chakra there, in the sacral chakra. It was fascinating to watch. So yes, I do womb healing for men, but I call it the ha-ha.
I love that, actually. I think it's brilliant. And you know, when you mentioned about and this is how I knew you were going to have that kind of response, because you said, let's not forget, we've been in our mother's womb and our grandmother's womb progressively. You know, men get to be inside the womb as well, and we all, unless we have some kind of injury that means it's removed, we all have that permanent reminder that we were in the womb with the navel. Whether you're in innie or an outie, you've still got that mark to say, I was connected to my mum.
I like that.
Absolutely, Nick. You know, you've hit on a really important thing there. Couldn't think of the word. But when we're feeling stressed, a lot of people will head towards the bath or to water. Why is that? You know, is that because you were in your mother's womb, you were surrounded by water, surrounded by warmth? A lot of people will use a bath to unwind, to relax, place of safety.
Yeah. Even to the extent that the recovery position is similar to the fetal position.
It is. Well, it basically is, isn't it? I mean, and what you said about the water there, Marie, that answers it, because I love water. And if I need to unwind, if I need to sort of sometimes think about what I'm going to do with a class, or I get a lot of stuff when I'm in the bath, when I'm just laying there in a nice warm bath, and it's just really therapeutic, and it's one of the places that I relax.
So that place of safety, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're protected, or you as a baby, you were protected by the warm water, by that floating feeling, that sensation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be fair, not everybody arrives in the earth through the usual processes.
Yep.
I certainly didn't. I was a sunroof baby. I took one look, yanked the emergency stop cable, and said, "Get me out of here. I'm a male." You know, because that's the way I was. But there are different methods of coming into the world now,
Yes.
and certainly, although I didn't follow the normal processes, so I will only have one channel of light in my lifetime, and that will be at the end of it rather than the beginning. But with science's progress now, a very interesting question has come in relating to womb healing. Would womb healing make your body more receptive to IVF? And that's come from Amanda Banks.
That's a really interesting question, isn't it? I would like to think so. Depending on, well, yeah, I would like to think so. Why not? I haven't worked with anybody who's gone through IVF. I can only imagine actually the pain that must be. I would think so, because it would be moving energy. My common sense tells me yes, absolutely. My healing head says yes, absolutely. But the honest answer is I don't know, Nick. How interesting.
That is actually a beautiful answer. And you know what? I know as healers, we are not allowed to promise anything, and we are not allowed to diagnose anything. But if you look in the science of pregnancy, comfort, calmness, and emotion are a very heavy influence, aren't they? I've known a number of people in my life who have tried to have children. They've got stressed about it, worked up about it, given up, enjoyed their lives, and 9 months later they've got a bundle of joy in their arms. So emotion is, and it does back up everything you've said, emotion is very heavily impactful on pregnancy and the ability for the womb to do its job.
I agree, Nick, because a similar situation happened to me. So I'd been trying for a long time. I was on fertility treatment, and I was on the list for IVF. And I even stopped going to family parties, because when you reach a certain age, and you've been married a certain time, people sort of say, "Are you gonna, when are you gonna have a baby?" And in the end, I said, I turned around and said I didn't want children, because I couldn't go through the emotion of everybody sort of, having a dig at me. Well, not a dig, but, ask that question. You always get the aunties and what have you asking that question. And then we went on holiday, had a nice relaxing time, and I came back and I was pregnant.
Oh, how wonderful. I think there's a lot of pressure, isn't there, on women to have children? When are you having children? Oh, yes. Don't you want children? Or for me, I have 5 children. I'm very lucky. I have 5 children. And I get the comment of, "Have you stopped yet? You got another one. Have you got telly yet?" You can't win.
You can't win. You either you either haven't got any, or you've got enough in somebody's eyes. I think, again, it's personal choice.
Yeah.
And you have to do with what you do. And we've got a lovely comment, a lovely question here from Linda Brown, and she said that she's had 7 miscarriages, and what would womb healing do for me? Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Linda. That must have been absolutely traumatic for you. So would womb healing help Linda Marie, do you think?
I think so. I really felt that. So I just had to take a minute there to take a breath. I really felt that. And I'm sending much love to Linda. But yes, also grief, the grief of that, the loss of that would be held in that area. So moving the grief from that area, releasing that grief and inviting new life in. I can answer with, I would absolutely hope so.
Yeah. My heart's going out to her as well. I felt that, because it's, wanting a baby so much as I did, and you've gone through that 7 times, Linda. We're sending you lots of love and healing from us here. So,
and I've deliberately kept very, very quiet to that comment, because this was we said hello during the conversation where Marie was having her issues with technology and coming on, but this is actually my mum, Marie.
Oh, hello.
And I was child number 9. Just to give you a bit of a preview on that. And this is also, and the reason I want to explain this is because it's about never giving up hope.
yeah.
My mum had my sister 9 years before me. The 7 miscarriages were in that almost decade. She was told that she should be cautious about having another child, because of the pressure it would put on. And after those 7 miscarriages, I turned up. So there is not much of a hope when it's me, but in relation to pregnancy and miscarriages, she had these 7, but then after all that pain and heartache, I popped
She
out.
got you. How wonderful's that, Nick? How wonderful is that?
I'm sure she doesn't always think that.
Well,
but,
do you know what? Talking from mother and son, I waited a long time for my son, but when I got him, it was special, and we have that special bond. I'm so proud of him. I love him to bits, and if he ever listens to this, he'll be really embarrassed. But he was special, and he still is very special to me. And I think that that mother and son, and I would say that you and your mum have a special relationship. Yeah.
The reason I mentioned it, Marie, and I can understand his perspective, because it does get very embarrassing being called the special one. Nick, you have to come down. You're on a mission. I always am on them. I'm always on a mission, Chris. But my question from you, Marie, and I think, again, I already know the answer to this, but I'd like your feedback on it. Okay. Just because those 7 miscarriages occurred and then there was that success, it doesn't mean that there isn't a need for healing, does it? It's still that blockage that's there that needs dealing with, isn't it?
Very much so, Nick. We are always on a healing journey. Always. There is always something, if we look back, that we can, or look forward, or stay present, actually, which needs healing. Always. So I've had womb healing 3 times, and I have a different experience every time, and I thoroughly recommend it for anybody, to be honest, male, female.
Yeah. Oh,
here we go. Look, here we go.
That's so lovely. That's so lovely. Oh,
mother's commenting. And thank you, Marie. Now I'd like to go back to Alison's comment, if I may, because that was, I think, a real chunky thing for Marie to sink her teeth into, and I'm looking forward to her answer.
I can't see the comments, so I'm excited.
Pardon?
I can't see the comments, so I'm really excited. Hit me with
excellent. Right, here we go. So Alison Turner has, and I've got to say, Alison, I think this is a brilliant question.
It is.
So when a man and a woman interact in the physical sense, does the man transfer his unhealed trauma or karma to the woman? And I will also add to the child as well from myself. I've heard that the woman takes that trauma or karma on. Also, if one has done the healing and one has not, does the one that is healed or vibrating higher take on the unhealed trauma or karma? This could be a male or a female. Thank you.
What a fascinating question. Yes, I can. I thoroughly believe we can pick up other people's traumas, because we live in each other's energy. We're exchanging energy all the time. And when you're thinking of sexual energy and intercourse, that energy, you can't get any closer.
Mm.
That's the closest you can get. So yes, I think you can transfer energy. I think a newborn baby can pick up. I think the woman can pick up. And again, the man, the man can also pick up trauma from the unhealed women. If we're working on healing, then we need to be working both on healing, especially if there's a baby involved. Oh, am I still there?
You're
Yeah.
still here, Dal.
You're still
Yeah,
here.
sorry, my screen went black and I had a little panic moment. But yes, energy is transferable. If you walk into a room and you can feel somebody's vibrating, that their energy, people often say, oh, your energy is amazing today, or you've got such a good energy, you've got such a vibrant energy. If you can feel that when you walk into a room, then sexual intercourse, absolutely, you can pick up that energy from somebody.
It's interesting, that question, because that makes me think about sometimes how people can get over healing of trauma, because that trauma may have a knock-on effect on the relationship, and maybe sometimes, communication can break down within that relationship, and somebody might say, you don't understand me anymore, you don't know what I'm going through. So, and sometimes the energy transfers, because you have sometimes you've got one person that's in a strong position and doing okay, and then the other person in relationship isn't, and they may think, well, what about me? And they may feel as if they're, not feeling the love, or if they're not in sync with their partner. How would you deal with that, Marie?
I think the one word that's right above my head is communication.
Yeah.
Communication is everything, as is energy. Energy is everything, and everything is energy. And if you're not communicating, then you're blocking the energy. What is behind the not communicating? Is it a past response? Is it a fear of the reaction? What is it around that? Is having a look at why that communication is broken down. And just talking about males there, something else that's just popped into my head is the male postnatal depression. I have, out of the 5 times I've been pregnant, I've had 3 lots of postnatal depression, which have been absolutely awful. But I do think this is something that the male experiences too, because it's their emotion too.
Yes.
I do feel it's overlooked. I think it's overlooked with females, for one, but I certainly feel it's overlooked for the male. They've just been through something as well. And when the female is looking after the baby, he is sort of brushed aside. That space that was there, he no longer fills, because that's been taken by baby.
Well, you become a different unit, don't you? I mean, if you with the first baby, there's the 2 of you, and you're all excited, it's your first baby, and then all of a sudden baby comes in, and no one realizes the impact. You think you do, but until you've got that little bundle of joy in your arms, you don't know what that's going to do to your life. And every baby's different. Every baby that you have is different. So
absolutely,
every child is different, from the same genes, but they're their own individual souls and their own individual little bundles. So it's interesting how these emotions and how these things, but communication is, you're right, communication is the key.
Yeah.
Amen to that. And thank you, Alison, for a really, really brilliant question.
That was fabulous. Yeah.
I hope I answered it.
I think you did.
Rambling again.
No, not look. I'm the queen of ramblers, so I wouldn't worry. I make everyone look succinct when I get off on one, so don't worry. But it really was a well answered question, and I'm absolutely fascinated by your work.
Me too.
It really, really is, and with no disrespect intended to anyone, sometimes when we're having these conversations, as a male, although half a male as I'm described by most of people that know me, it can sometimes feel like that the masculine aspect is excluded from the conversation. Whereas in this one, I feel part of the conversation, and I'm being made to feel part of the conversation. And I think that's sometimes where things go wrong, when the male that is part very much of the process and that transfer of energy in our daily lives is made to feel excluded, it can create more harm than good. So the fact that you're very, very caring and nurturing and very aware of that masculine aspect as part of the process can only add to the level of quality of your work. So thank you for that from all of us boys.
I really appreciate that, Nick. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Is it
All right, so we are actually going to take a very short break now, because I would imagine Marie needs a glass of water and I need to refill my glass, and I'm certain Karen's going to want to refill her shotgun of questions because she's been banging away real well there. Love it. So we are going to take a very short break with the wonderful Kate May and see what's in store for us in this week's Tarot Scope. So, Richard, for the first time today, roll VT.
Hello everyone, welcome to your week ahead tarot readings for the 2nd of October. How did we get there? Okay, my name is Kate May, Modern Day Mystic. You can grab me on katemay.co.uk. Here we are. This is Aries. You're the lovers this week, Aries. Now, this is all about communication for you this week. Being open, being honest. You could find that you're partnering up with somebody. If you're single, you might find that you really do meet your match of love this week. If you're in a relationship, this is all about communication and making choices and decisions that will affect both of you. Either way, this week is very hot on communication and being open and honest with what it is you want to say, what it is you want to do, and making big choices and decisions that's going to affect you in a positive way. Taurus, Queen of Swords. This is the week to speak your truth. This is the week to say it as it is. There might be something on your mind. There's something perhaps you need to clear the air. Not everyone likes to hear the truth, but this week someone's going to get it. Maybe it's going to be you, or could it be you saying it? This week, Taurus, it's about being blunt, being direct. And like I said, it clears the air, allowing you to move forward. Gemini. A little bit of a loss this week, Gemini. You might be feeling a bit down. You might be feeling a bit sad. You could make things worse if you dwell on that. So it's going to be really important, Gemini, that you look at the cup half full, not half empty this week. And you try and look at the positive, accept a situation and look at where you can bring some light into that. Cancer. Counting your blessings this week, Cancer. It's a happy week for you. Everything is running smoothly and you might be feeling a little bit smug as you enjoy your creature comforts and enjoy your well-earned success. Leo, things are moving slow but steady. Now this is a great card when you want to build a foundation. There could be work opportunities, there could be new relationships coming in around you, perhaps connecting you to an earth sign. It indicates that commitment is there for you. You're ready for commitment, you're ready for the next stage, and things are taking a positive turn, albeit slow. Better slow than fast and falling off. Slow and steady wins the race for you this week, Leo. Virgo, stick to your guns. This week, Virgo, it's all about owning what you say, putting your money where your mouth is, and sticking up for what you believe in. There could be a bit of competition this week for you, Virgos. There might be a little bit of a battle that you've got to armour up for. However, you're prepared for it. And this message really is about standing your ground and fighting for what you believe in. It's called winning the battle, this card. Libra, the sun. Happy days, Libra. Now we're moving into your birth sign, your energy this week. Libra, this card is all about happiness, fun, enjoying yourself, celebrations, time spent in happiness with your family. It's a very successful card. You can't go wrong this week, Libra. Try and get some freedom, say yes to things, new opportunities, and really it's about riding with the wind and just going for it. This is a great card for you, Libras, that indicates there's going to be attainment, fulfillment, celebrations. Scorpios. Boundaries, the Emperor. Boundaries are important for you this week, Scorpios. It's time to set those boundaries. Don't let people walk all over you. Maybe you've got to be a bit more assertive. Maybe you've got to take charge and fire up a little bit more this week, Scorpios. This card also indicates a very strong father influence or dad influence, or a very strong male figure. Perhaps someone around you is being a little bit controlling and you need to set the record straight or put those boundaries in place. Could also be a promotion coming up for you this week, Scorpio. It's a great card if you're looking to work more in the public eye, or if you're wanting to take charge of your life a little bit more. Sagittarius, Hierophant. don't rock the boat. This card indicates that you just want to keep on doing what you're doing. There may be some spiritual groups, organizations that you're taking part in this week. There could be development that you're teaching or that you're learning from a very good teacher this week. This card indicates you don't want to rock the boat. Don't start anything new. Just keep doing things the way you do them. There's high intelligence coming around you this week, Sagittarius. You're going to learn a lot more. You're going to deepen your knowledge and power. New doors are opening for you, Saggies. Capricorn. Blast from the past. Feelings, emotions from the past could come flooding back around you, Capricorns. This is a healing card. Going back into the past, but able to heal for you. People from the past may connect around you, again, all with a healing vibe. Think about the past in a positive way. Aquarius. This card indicates that you're able to handle things. You can deal with things in a sensitive, calm manner. That's the key, really. Dealing with anything with maturity, with sensitivity, and you can overcome anything. The waters are now calm. And Pisces, celebrations. Happy news around the family, reward, your hard work paying off. A great card indicating there's a feeling of security, a feeling of success, and there is celebrations around you where you start to get your rewards. Well done.
When we just talk about the 7 principles. Oh, hello. We're back. Hello.
Hello.
I noticed for once. Richard's only just clocked that we're back live, so it's fine. I scored brownie points today. So for anyone who is curious as to what we were just ranting about, it's actually a good lead into what started the conversation, because Marie is not gone. She's just rebooting in the hope of seeing some movement. Although I'll be honest with you, her answers and her voice are very, very mobile. And
absolutely wonderful.
With a picture. But we were talking about how my obsession with mentioning the 10 spiritual commandments and the 10 laws of living that were given as the premise to Emma Hardinge Britten as a medium, which led up to the creation of her summary, because I feel if we don't mention them, there is so much depth and breadth that is within the 7 principles that might be skimmed over when it comes, and they're certainly useful for understanding those principles as a basis, but also as a way of living rather than a religious doctrine. But the reason we've been talking about it in the last couple of days, and the reason Karen and I were just having a natter, is because Richard's actually producing a documentary on his thoughts on spiritualism. He touches on some of the principles and touches on their origins. And that's a documentary. It's a 20-minute documentary that he's producing, and it's actually going to be coming out next week. So please look out for that. I'm really, really excited for it, because
I'm excited too, because I think more should be done about the history, about the foundations of spiritualism, because people come into it and they don't always necessarily want to research it, but it's a fascinating subject to research, not just the principles, but the pioneering mediums that started it. You know, it's something to look into for those of you that like that sort of thing, to understand it.
Indeed. And you know what, I think one of the things that worries me in this way of life is that we've got 2 very separate camps sometimes. There's a lot of people in the middle ground, a lot more, but they're usually the quieter ones. That there's 2 separate camps: those that are not interested in the principles or the history of spiritualism and pioneers, and then you go to the extreme where it's all the be all and end all. But from my view, and I'd love your opinion while we're waiting for Marie to come back on this, Karen. And I'm putting my life on a knife edge here, because I don't know what your answer is, and usually I tap you up before I do. We talk about the pioneers and put them on pedestals, but one of the things that made them pioneers is that they were out there experimenting, moving forward, pushing the boundaries, looking for new and better ways to work. And I think that if we are going to have more pioneers in spiritualism, we need to keep pushing forward and not forget them, but respect them and live up to their standard.
Absolutely.
Actually pushing forward the boundaries of spiritualism.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Nick, because they were in the word pioneer, they started something. They were men and women of their time, and especially the women, because spiritualism gave women a voice. You know,
Did.
there was Emma Hardinge Britten traveling around America, in the time of Civil War, having meetings with Abraham Lincoln about spiritualism. What woman in the 1800s did that? They were supposed to be at home doing embroidery and sitting there all very graceful. She was out there. There was Estelle Roberts in the 30s and 40s, bringing up a family. She was out there raising the flag for spiritualism. Helen Duncan was out there doing during the war, bringing information from sunken ships that they'd actually sunk, because back in the war years they didn't get the information that these things had happened probably for weeks after the event. So, and they trusted. The word trust comes in here. They trusted spirit. They trusted their own belief and their own determination, their own spirit. So yes, we should stand up for spirit, I believe. And I think we shouldn't just sit and just say back in the day this happened. Let's say what's happening now and push those boundaries. So there you go.
I kind of guessed that would be your response, but
Yeah.
you never know. And because what I'm saying and the way I say it, I'm not saying it to disrespect the pioneers. It literally is to carry on their work.
Absolutely, that's what they'd want. I'm sure that's what they'd want.
Julie Gaswell is with us. She says, I love looking at the pioneers. I look at what they were doing and then try to expand on that.
Go, Julie.
And I know you do, Julie. And I'll see you in the morning. Kelly Rocket says, I always dreamed of being a pioneer, but I'm busy breaking generational cycles instead. So I've got to say, you are pioneering.
Yes.
You are pioneering.
Yes.
Because when you are breaking the mold, this is what the pioneers did. They said, enough of this old-fashioned fuddy-duddy claptrap. Let's do something new.
Yeah.
And although they were working within the boundaries of their modern life, what they were having to experience as the old-fashioned fuddy-duddy stuff is nothing in comparison to what we've had to. Because you mentioned Helen Duncan, for example, giving information about the ships that were being sunk. Lest we forget, that is what got her prosecuted.
Oh, I know.
Under the Witchcraft Act, as it was then. People don't tend to realise that the Fraudulent Mediums Act, which replaced the Witchcraft Act, the replacement only happened in 1951.
Yep.
It's 72 years ago.
Yes.
So a lot of progress has been made, and we will continue to progress if we live up to and push beyond the bar that was created by the pioneers. Rather than riding on the coattails.
Technology's doing that, isn't it? I mean, we're out there, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. You've got the people that come in for the shows week after week, and also churches are online as well. Medium's going in different ways. But what I would say to every training medium is do your research, understand where you came from. Because if you were studying music or English, you'd study the work of Mozart, Beethoven, all the people that have gone before. If you were studying English, you'd be reading the works of Shakespeare, Dickens, and many great literal writers. So look at the pioneering mediums and understand what they went through on their journey, and understand how hard it was. I read the book the recent book that was written about the Fox sisters, and it was sad. It was so sad, what those poor girls went through at the ages of 11 and 14. And it just makes you think how far we've come, and to celebrate it, not moan about it, celebrate it. How much has been achieved, because a lot has been achieved. But we can't sit still. We've got to move it forward again and celebrate the beautiful religion of spiritualism, no matter what tranche of it you sit in. We are spiritualists.
Yes.
with a capital S.
Amen to that. Bless you, my darling. I think now would probably be a good time to go to our commercial breaks and see how we're getting on with Marie.
Okay.
So for the second time today, Richard, roll 'em.
Join us at the Bognor Regis Spiritualist Centre for a captivating mediumship demonstration on Saturday, the 11th November from 7:30 p.m. Experience an evening of connection with the spiritual realms, featuring the talents of Bill Hughes, David Hale, and Caroline Johnson. For more information and to book tickets, please visit bognorspiritualistcentre.co.uk.
Nadija Bajami, a proficient strategic hypnotherapist, mind coach, grief educator, accomplished Reiki master, and gifted psychic medium, extends a warm invitation to join us on an exploration during a 4-week introductory mediumship course. As a special privilege, this extraordinary opportunity is being offered to our esteemed VIP members without any associated costs. Immerse yourself in the art of refining your innate talents and finding balance in communion with the realm of spirits. The course begins on Sunday, November 5th, at 7 p.m. via Zoom, and details will be placed in the VIP lounge. For more information on becoming a VIP, visit sptv.uk. The SPTV Divine Guidance Oracle Pack, a unique blend of inspiration and artistic beauty. Our captivating set of 78 cards combines the power of ancient archetypes, celestial guidance, and the essence of life itself to provide you with a unique tool for self-discovery, clarity, and transformation, all lovingly housed within an exclusive rigid box. The pack includes a booklet that delves into every card in detail, some of which carry dual meanings for deeper interpretation. The booklet also features 8 distinctive card spread layouts. Among these treasures, you'll discover 22 major arcana, 9 main archangels, 4 elements, and 40 life cards, each a work of art, radiating beauty and delivering profound messages that resonate deeply within your being. The SPTV Divine Guidance Pack, where beauty meets enlightenment. Pre-order today and unlock the extraordinary wisdom that awaits you. To be among the pioneers in experiencing our forthcoming collection and to reserve your pack in advance, as well as to access more details, including a sample audio description, kindly visit sptv.uk/cards. Tonight from 8 p.m, Claire Pasterfield hosts her show, Heavenly Sprinkles, for an evening of mediumship readings. Tomorrow night from 6 p.m, SPTV introduces their new show, Shopping with SPTV with Karen Besant.
Tomorrow night from 8 p.m, Deb Clark demonstrates her mediumship by offering free readings.
We are back, and so is the lovely Marie. But sadly, we got to see her moving, but she's paused again. Hopefully, it'll unpause. But she's got a bigger smile this time, which just says it all, really.
It does.
Just a quick note there, of course, do not forget to join in for the wonderfully delightful Claire Pasterfield tonight. You have got the wonderful Deb tomorrow, and special announcement Wednesday, a new show. Ooh. Hannah McIntyre is joining the family, so please, please, please come along and support her show. It's going to be amazing.
Wonderful.
So 6 o'clock Wednesday night, Hannah McIntyre, welcome to the family. Julie has just said, I'm studying the Fox Sisters at the moment. Hydesville is our theme at Spirit Seeker, 175 years of modern spiritualism.
Well done, Julie.
Absolutely. Blah, blah, blah. Bravo. And now when we talk about it, and I knew Richard was going to say something. This is why I like the term modern spiritualism, because spiritualism has been a universal constant, threading its weaving and threading through every way of life. If you look at the core of every religion, connection to spirit, healing, looking after one another, living a good life, every religion is a reinterpretation of those core central themes. And what do humans do? We add to it, and we play with it. I know I'm just as bad, but I'm trying to make it for a modern genre. But we should, just because we change something now doesn't mean in 10, 15 years time we shouldn't push it forward like the pioneers did and do. So I love the term modern spiritualism because it shows that there was a prehistory to that. You know, even the events that went on with the wonderful gentleman John Wesley, who founded the Methodist movement. He had his experience as well, that were not so publicly announced for various reasons. But spiritualism threads its weave right through back to very, very historic methods. And making historic methods modern again is our guest, the lovely Marie Ponting. Are you still able to talk to us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you still.
Wonderful.
Welcome back.
Back.
Oh, that was a bit crackly.
Have we lost her?
Oh, no, I think I'm still here.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you're still here. Lovely. Which, speaking of modern technology, as you did, Karen, and making ancient ways modern, question all the way from the other side of the planet for you, Marie. Can you do it remotely to somebody in Australia?
That's a really good question. I think there's a lot to be said for feeling the energy. I like my clients, patients, people to be in the same room. I've not tried it remotely, and that's partly due to my learning curve around technology, as you've experienced, Nick and Karen. I'm not, it's a big learning curve for me, technology. It's not something I offer at the moment. Maybe somebody else does. I don't know. The effectiveness of it, I don't know is the answer to that one. Kelly, thank you, though. Nice question.
And it's something that you could perhaps think about when you've worked out the technological kinks.
Absolutely.
And Richard fixed me up, so you never know. A few words of advice like he gave in the break, with wired cables rather than relying on the Wi-Fi. And you never know, you could be up and running in an instant. And I think that's really, really important. You know, when dealing with energy, and I don't know what both your ladies' thoughts are, but when dealing with the energy of spirit and the energy of connection, yes, I completely agree with you, Marie. You spoke earlier about communication being important, and I think contact is also vitally important. But when there is not an opportunity for that, I don't think the energies will ever let us down, will they?
Do you know what, Nick? It's interesting you say that, because when lockdown happened in 2020, a group of friends, we decided to send out some healing to each other and also to the world. And we got online, and I thought to myself, how am I going to do this? Because I thought, never done this, you know. So what I did is I just thought, well, I'm just going to do it as I would normally do. So the person that I was sending healing to, I visualized my physical hands on his shoulders, and the energy was coming through me. So when we finished and we gave each other a little bit of feedback, he said to me, I felt Karen's hands on my shoulders. So you never know, Marie, maybe this is something that perhaps Spirit want you to have a go at, to try.
And pioneer.
Pioneer.
No less.
Yes.
All right. I like a challenge. I like being pushed out my comfort zone. That's where all the growth is, isn't it? So,
yes. Maybe get some people to come along for an experiment to see if it works. And you never know, you might have people from across the pond or the world or whatever. This is what I think is happening. Changes are afoot.
The vibration is raising.
Yes.
Yes, and actually, I've got to say, I can't remember because we were gassing. So you know what we're like when we get
I
together.
know.
One, I can't remember whether this was online or before we were talking. You mentioned, Marie, about a shift in the energies that has been growing. I think it was actually before the show. Perhaps this is part of it. You know, finding new ways to work and growing forward that work that you do, because it's certainly to me, and I know everyone at home, I can tell by the responses we're getting, are really, really open and receptive to that. And when that, like I said, I'm still going to keep saying it because I'm a great believer, that physicality is important, that physical connection is vital, but it's not possible for everybody. And that's what programs like the SPTV are for. We learn as spiritualists about using technology during the pandemic. We were online before the pandemic, but not
Yeah.
on the scale.
Yeah.
But we never scaled back. In actual fact, we keep scaling it up
Yeah.
every couple of weeks. So perhaps, you know, it's like Karen said, it's something that perhaps you can think about when you've got your 15-meter cable that Richard was recommending.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued by it, actually. I'm wondering, I'm sat here thinking about it, and it would, a lot of it would be intention, moving my energy, that I find that quite fascinating. Thank you very much for the question. It's something I'm going to investigate.
Yes.
Fantastic. And that's what I love about the SPTV conversation.
Yes.
You know, we all learn from something that gets mentioned, a comment, a word or two. Jilly Erickson has said remote healing during lockdowns, especially. The healers belonging to the Healing Trust held remote distant healing sessions online.
Yeah.
Great effect. I'm with you, Jilly.
Yeah.
With you, absolutely.
Well, going back further with our history, Nick, do you remember? Well, you won't remember, but back in the war years, circles were formed, and they were sending positive healing across, and they were also saying positivity so that we would never be invaded, and we weren't. And some people say, well, you know, that could be for other reasons, but the power of positivity, the power of healing.
Absolutely.
My brain's already thinking like, oh, I could do this, I could do that,
Yes,
it could work like that.
well done. I love it.
Yeah.
And well done to Kelly. Richard's even suggesting the idea of maybe doing a live version with the SPTV family. So watch this space, my friends.
This
Richard, that would be amazing, but you realise I'm going to be coming to your house so that you can set me up with the technical stuff.
Oh, it is so good that you can't hear Richard's response to that, but it was very positive.
Yes,
positive in his assertions, anyway.
Yes,
brilliant, love it.
He's promoting cables.
He's promoting cables. He's promoting cables. You know, promoting long distance healing, promoting cables. Have we got any more questions or comments, Richard? For the lovely. Right. So, yeah, he's in a different window, bless him.
Oh well, yeah.
Oh well, yes. Everyone's really going for that idea, Marie. So
definitely,
please, everybody, you remember what I said at the beginning? Chris Poulet says yes, yes, yes. Nolene, wonderful idea. So I think it's going to happen, Marie.
Yes.
You remember what I said when I thought I heard you were coming on another show?
Yes.
I'm predicting. Well, Spirit haven't let me down today. Because it looks like I was being psychic after all.
Yes, well done.
Well, I shall be bringing my guides with me. They're never far away from me, so possible. Yeah,
go. That will be amazing, and helping a lot of people as well.
Absolutely. So Richard has indeed been sharing links on how to find you and where to find you, Marie.
Thank
but
you,
if people
Richard.
get in touch, just a quick verbal in case people aren't reading the comments. If we want to find you, Marie, where do we find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Self Discovery with a Stara. And you can find me on Instagram. I'm not so good at Instagram. Again, it's tech, guys. I'm learning, all a learning curve. But Insta is self.discovery with a star. You'll notice me with my brown curly hair.
Lovely.
Fabulous. Marie, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for your thoughts, your interactions, and it's been a really wonderful conversation having you on today, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, it's been wonderful,
open
wonderful to listen to you, Marie, and you've given me a lot to think about. So thank you very much. Thank you.
And you guys are giving me a lot to think about, and what a wonderful audience. Thank you so much.
In actual fact, this is what they're like. Kelly Rocket says, I've already added you on Instagram, Marie.
There you go. You've got I would imagine you're going to have lots more followers, lots more people getting in contact with you, which is absolutely wonderful. Yes. Yeah.
I was just reading that comment by Jilly. During World War II, my grandmother had healing by letter.
Oh.
She wrote to the healer enclosing a clean piece of flannel worn over her stomach. The healer wrote back every week with dietary advice. This happened weekly, and she was healed from symptoms the doctors couldn't help with. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, wow, that's amazing, Jilly.
Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to find a cable.
Woo!
Yeah, definitely. And in actual fact, well done, Jilly, because that does remind me of the cross between distance and physical contact. Just very briefly, for your benefit, Marie, just in case this helps you with your thoughts and ideas, we used to do healing teddies and healing crosses, and when one of our ministers was ordained in the organization I was a part of before, when one of our ministers was ordained during the pandemic, they were the healing hands part of the service, the laying on of hands, was actually done onto a piece of cloth that was then posted and draped over their head to reenact that and mimic that action. And Jilly's just said that that's been going on since well before World War II. So something else you could play with.
Yeah, interesting.
Just use psychometry. That's how I use my mediumship, is through psychometry. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Energy, psychometry. It's exactly the same thing. I've just had a light bulb moment.
There you go.
Well done, Jilly.
Thank you, Jilly.
Oh. Debbie Callow has said, can spirit heal mental health? My son has severe anxiety made worse by the loss of our recent son. Well, first, Debbie, thoughts are going out to all of you.
Lots of healing thoughts.
Yes. Is that a question for me?
Question for you, Marie, definitely.
Absolutely. In one word, absolutely. I've just got a moment. Sorry, I'm sending you lots of love, Debbie. I can feel that pain. Wow. Yes, spirit can absolutely help with healing mental health. But like we said at the beginning, it's personal responsibility too. So it's making yourself accountable for that. But yeah, oh my goodness me. Yes. Yeah. And recognizing grief and moving that, grief moves through your body. You need to let it move rather than stopping it. When I lost my father and my best friend within a year of each other in 2021, and my experience of grief is that it'll come up. I'll be all right for a bit, and then it'll come up like a big block of concrete, and I think, wow, what is that? And then I've got to break it down and process it and get it through my body. But absolutely, working with spirit helps me every single time, without doubt.
Don't you find that sometimes we say that wonderful word when somebody says, how are you? We say, I'm fine, when we're not.
No, I've got a wonderful explanation of the word fine, but I don't think it's suitable for on air.
Yes,
I
think I know that you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. I think.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Which is just been saying psychology states that when someone says fine, they're really not. They just don't know how to talk it through.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I back you up 100% on that, Marie. I mean, one of the things that we say frequently about healing is that it is the spirit, the body, and the mind.
Yeah.
And Leslie Moulton has just said, I've put healing energy into a teddy to give people in hospital. Absolutely.
Oh, that's lovely.
Marie, thank you ever so much for sharing your morning with us. It has been amazing, and we
Definitely.
really look forward to this special show where you give it a go
Yes.
of a distant nature. That's going to be excellent.
Lovely to meet you, Marie, and keep up the good work. Absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks again for having me on. Lots of love. Have a lovely day.
And
You
you.
too. God bless, Marie. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, what an absolutely amazing guest.
Yes,
Long may
fabulous.
she reign in her work. Well, friends, it's time for us to give out some messages. So how do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first? Are we going to go numbers, pick names?
I don't mind. You choose this week. I'm easy. What do you want to do?
Shall we go by names brought up on the screen? And
Okay.
do you want to go first?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
And I'll shut my mouth for a little while then.
Okay. So we need some names, don't we?
Yeah. So he's just going to roll through and.
All right. Okay. Well, I've got a mum here, so I know I've got mum in the spirit. Okay, I've got a mum in the spirit world, and I know that she was she was a very forward-thinking mum, and even though I feel that she was a fair age when she passed, I feel I want to connect with her daughter that would be on here, and I feel that they were mates and that bond together, and they did a lot together. They went out. They would have a morning call in the morning. How are you doing? So I feel that there was a lot of connection, and I actually feel that she hasn't been in the spirit world very long. So does this make sense to anybody? Nothing yet. Okay. I love that picture, Krish, of the heart.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
It's absolutely beautiful, and that's what I feel. It with this lady, it was all about the heart. I feel she had a big heart and she gave a lot of herself, and she was actually a wonderful listener. And I wanted to say healing is connected with this lady. So not that she was possibly a healer, but I feel just being around her made you feel good. Does this make sense to anybody with a mum at the moment? Right. Okay. That's fine, Jasmine. But I just feel that she always spoke from her heart. She did everything that was very heartfelt. And would you understand, Jasmine, if you have a heart or something that I've got a heart necklace on today. So I don't know if it's a necklace or something to do with a heart that is connected with your nan. Would you understand that? Because I feel that there's something that you have, and it may have words on it. Right, Leslie can also understand that. So it's something about the heart, either a heart necklace or words written on a heart. This is what I'm seeing, because I was drawn to that heart that Krish had. So if you can relate to the heart, then I'm with you. I also feel she's laughing because I feel that she had a sweet tooth as well. Something about she's just popped a sweet in my mouth, and I don't really need to eat sweets, but she's just given me. Richard, can you put up those people? I'm just going to make a call as to where I'm going. Right. Okay. Leslie, I'm going to work with you because it was the heart that was the strong thing there. And would you also understand that she had quite a sweet tooth? Or there's sweets around you. You like the boiled sweets. That's what she's making me aware of. It's this heart. Yes, it's this heart necklace that I was drawn to. She loved the time that she spent with you, Leslie. I just feel that she felt this strong connection, this love to you, And I feel that she put all that love when they gave you that heart locket. There was a lot of love, and I feel it could have been for a birthday or a special Christmas or birthday that this present was given. If you can, right, okay. She always have sweets as loved kids, right? Yes, and I just feel that she's got a lovely face, and she's got a lovely smile, this lady. And I feel that she would get excited over family events. She would get excited over Christmas. Kids flock to her. Yeah, she's just got this way about her. She's got this fun way. And now she's giving me blancmange and jelly. So I feel that there must have been blancmange and jelly connected with her as well. And I knew there was something about the morning. A morning call, she's referring to it. Now we're in October at the moment, but would you understand an anniversary? Oh, you think it was your 18th? Wonderful, for the locket. I feel that there's an anniversary around November. I wanted to go around bonfire night around the 5th, 6th of November for an anniversary or a birthday. She loved family and was a great listener. That's fabulous. That's fabulous. But she's here, and she just wants to connect with you, and she just wants to send you all her love. And something about fireworks. I don't know if fireworks were let off as a memory, or she loved fireworks. But all I can hear in my head is fireworks going off. So it could be maybe there's some fireworks going off around you at the moment, but I feel it's not anything. I feel it's something about celebration fireworks. I want to say celebration fireworks. So fireworks going off for a memory to do with your mum. She comes with a great deal of love, and she's just so proud of you and your strength that you have, and the way you hold your head up and deal with things head on. But she's saying, don't forget to ask for help when you need it, because that's important, because you put on this, her birthday was the 12th of November. Okay. But I just feel that you put a bit of an armor around you, and she's saying, don't be afraid to ask for help. So take her love. Take her love.
Brilliant. That's lovely.
Right. Okay. Jasmine, what, can you take all of it? Oh, right. Okay. Okay, sometimes we get people that are very similar. Right. Okay. Let's just see, because right. Would you understand? I've just asked her to give me something, Jasmine, for you, that is separate than what's been said, and she's talking about a Christmas tree, the Christmas tree that was very important to her, and something about like the nutcracker. Would you understand the nutcracker? Right. Okay. Lovely. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you. That's brilliant. But Jack, can I just go back to Jasmine and say about the nutcracker? Something about the nutcracker. I don't know if it's an ornament on the tree, or if it's something to do with the nutcracker, as in the ballet or the performance. But she's also giving you something about the nutcracker and Christmas as well for you, something about Christmas. So if you can understand that as well. Okay, thank you for working with me.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Well done, doll.
thank you.
Hey. And Jasmine says, I have a Christmas tree.
Wonderful.
Fabulous. Beautiful messages. Thank you, Karen. Excuse me, I better do some work now as well then.
Yes.
Instantly as I linked in, because I had a funny feeling that somebody was going to turn up, and I was preparing myself to, just say, stand to one side a minute, because I fully expected a little bit of a ram raid on my mediumship today. So I've sorted that out now. And as I link in, I've got a gentleman with a younger gentleman. I don't feel he reached a very great age. I know, thank you, that he would have had some long-standing physical conditions among other things, because I'm very much aware that there was a wheelchair involved. And I can feel myself sitting in that wheelchair and shifting around in it and getting really annoyed and quite often leaning to one side in it. I know there would have been towards the end of his life some problems with the speech. I also know that there is problems around the neck. I want to go as far as to say as I think that there may have even been some kind of scar or surgery upon the neck. When I linked in with him, I'm also made very much aware that there were a number of operations actually. Although I'm singling this one out on the neck, I know that there would have been more operations. But I do know that he was a very young gentleman at heart, and as well as being taken far too young. And I do want to link in with a D name, either Darren or Dave or something. DA. I'm quite confident about DA as a name, whether it's his or the person watching, but I want to go for a DA. So DA as a start to a name. So a Darren, a Dave, or it could be a female's name that's on here watching. But I know that this gentleman, as he comes forward, he was youthful in his eyes all the time, and communication came through the eyes. So I don't know whether anyone at home can understand this gentleman so far. Have we got anybody yet, Richard? Oh, well. So I will count. There is a connection to the month of May, and I want to go into the 20s with him. And I do feel that this young man was, and this is not necessarily the connection to whoever's on here, but I know he was a son, and I know that he was a brother. So whether it's a mother or a sibling that he wants to connect with today, I'm not 100% sure. And I keep getting, it's strange really, I keep hearing Cotton Eye Joe. You remember that tune from from whenever it was, Cotton Eye Joe as a link with him as well. So if anyone can understand who this is, please take him, because he's such a lovely guy wanting to link in. So we've got this young man in a wheelchair. I've got surgery or a scar on the neck. A DA sounding name like Darren or Dave or Daryl, something like that. I want an anniversary connected with him in the later part of May in the 20s. The song Cotton Eye Joe keeps playing in the background. Tanita says that sounds like my boyfriend, but he was 47. Gotta say, I'll be 45 at the end of the month. It still feels young to me. And you would understand that and I think 47 is still way too young. Would you always understand? And I think this is where I want to come in with you. You would understand that he was very youthful. Debbie Callow says my son was 25 when he passed. I read something on his Facebook about Cotton Eye Joe, but didn't have surgery. Would you understand that there was a problem with the neck that may have been that could have potentially been helped? Tanita, thank you for responding with not being able to take the details. That really does help. Debbie, can you understand that there was a problem that may have been able to be helped, or something that was going on with the neck? Because I keep wanting to do this on my neck and keep rubbing it, which usually means a scar to me. But I keep rubbing my neck, and then I feel really choked up with him. So if I've misinterpreted that, I apologize. But Debbie, at 25, that's once again far too young, even younger than last time. And the Cotton Eye Joe was the bit that Richard asked. He says, go back on that. He had a blood clot in his neck. I'm trying to massage it. Thank you, Debbie, if I may work with you with this wonderful young man. You did say that he was son. I know that he was a son, and I did say about being a sibling. But what I want to say is that every relationship mattered to him. Okay, I'm getting a lecture here. He's really putting in my place. He's saying, "You think you can talk, mate? I would have put you in your place. I was the one who held court. I was the one who held attention, and for that, I want to go back to the eyes.
Oh,
Thank you, bulging neck and beautiful eyes. Thank you, Debbie.
oh.
He used his eyes to his advantage when it came to dealing with people. And I even want to say, I know you said he's got beautiful eyes. I want to be fluttering my eye. I've got to take my glasses off because he says you can't see fluttering eyelashes behind glasses like you should do. And there is something about batting his eyelashes at you and giving in that kind of that's the word. Thank you. Charisma. He was and still is, I've got to tell you, extremely charismatic, could charm the birds out of the trees. I keep coming back to this feeling and I know you've said that he had a bulging vein in his neck, but I keep coming back to being choked up as well. And I feel there's that emotional thing. And thank you. Thank you. He's been doing this a while, either that or he's a blooming good learner, because he's just referenced Marie earlier, and I think it's you that keeps getting choked up with your words and the emotional blockage. He says she wants to go and see Marie and get unblocked because he's worried about your emotional blockages. And you know, when we defy genealogy and we go before our parents, it's always that least expected thing. And it's always the hardest of emotions. But he's adamant about you. Right, I've got to get this right. You continuing his work. I don't know whether there was some passion that he had or a legacy that's been put in place, but he's talking about you continuing his work. And I've also got to say, when I said that, I also saw a really young gentleman on the earth plane still with us who is carrying on the charisma. Because when you said he really did have charisma, I'm seeing a youngster who's taking after him in some sort of way, not necessarily on a genealogical sense, but behaviors and attitudes and the batting of eyelashes. And it's almost like looking in a mirror at him sometimes. There's some youngster that's carrying on his charisma. And I don't do predictions, but I've got to say, if there isn't one now, there will be soon. I'm not saying with yourself, I want to go down a generation. But as far as your ability to unblock your emotions is about carrying on a passion or a legacy of his. This passion, this legacy is really strong in his mind, and he wants you to carry on here helping others. Thank you, Debbie. He wants you to carry on this. He wants you to carry on this. That is your way of unblocking your emotions, taking responsibility for something. And I'm not talking about personal responsibility. I know it's been the theme of the day. He was laughing at that when we were talking about it, he says. I didn't hear him because he hadn't linked in with me yet, but he wants you to carry on doing the good works. That's an interesting turn of phrase, because we would say good work. I don't know if there's some kind of Catholic connection here or an awareness of someone who would have been Catholic, because that's a very Catholic statement. It's about the good works, not work, good works. So I don't know whether there's a Catholic connection there, Debbie, but I've just got to throw that in. But he wants you to carry on and be uplifted and be vibrant. And just when you're feeling down, remember those battering of eyelashes and those eyes burning in the back of your neck. Because I told you, right, okay, thank you. Cool. He makes me look quiet, blooming heck. And I love him. I think he's brilliant. But he says, remember, I told you I would be watching, and I am. And you'll feel my eyes burning in the back of your neck, watching you, keeping your end up and keeping your emotions up and bringing joy to the world, because that is the best legacy any person can have. But above all, okay, don't you? How can you say that to me? He's taking the mick out of me because he's throwing some of the things that we have in common, what we were talking about earlier. And he says, don't say this publicly and don't let too many people hear me say this out loud, he says, but we're both mummy's boys. And I will never, ever, ever forget the compassion, and I will be sending it back to you threefold. So please do take his love. And as he steps back, thank you. I don't know whether you're aware of the flower cowslips. I've got to give you cowslips as a flower just to finish off that connection with him. But do take his love and his upliftment, Debbie, and keep fighting the good fight. And he's putting his fist in the air with that one as well. Something else we have in common. I do like raising a fist to the air in victory and support. So take his love, his healing upliftment, and I'll say, God bless you, Debbie, and thank you for listening. And I'll put my glasses back on now. So
wow, that was full of passion, Nick. That was amazing, absolutely wonderful. Okay, have I got, do you know what I've got? When you were talking there, my dog Oscar just moved and came into shot, and he doesn't normally do that. He stays quiet. But I'm aware of a dog here. Oh look, oh Debbie's in tears. Oh, that's really emotional. That was really emotional. We're sending you some healing, Debbie. That was, oh yeah, was emotional. Okay, now I've got a lovely dog here for somebody, and I just feel that it's like a shaggy dog, and it's sort of like a sandy sort of colour, and I feel like my dog, I feel that this dog was very strongly connected with somebody on here today. And I feel that there's still, I'm sensing a lot of love between this person and the dog. Would anybody understand losing a dog? That I feel that you had it from a pup and it grew up with you, or there's just a strong connection to this dog. Now I've got in my mind Stace. Is Stace still on here? Can I see if Stace is still on? Because Stace just came into my mind then.
Are you there, Stacey, my love?
Are you there, Stacey? Stacey, can you understand that you've lost a dog in the spirit world? That you had a dog in the spirit world? Because I also feel that this dog comes in with a grandmother. Would you also understand your grandmother in the spirit world, Stace? Because that's what I'm feeling, and I feel that you spent a lot of time with your grandmother when she was here. I feel that she was quite a wise lady, and she taught you a lot. I've got you sitting down together, sort of having this bonding time, I want to say. And this one, Stace, is like a sandy coloured one. Grand's dog. Okay, well, they come in together here, your grandmother and the dog, because when you were little, I feel you spent a lot of time with Gran, and I've got the dog there as well when you were sitting with her reading or watching telly, because I feel that your Gran would have loved an afternoon movie. Years ago they used to have afternoon films, and I feel that she would have loved a good afternoon movie. And she also would have bought you colouring books. She's given me colouring books. Would you understand that? And also, Stace, now I know of you, but I don't know what you do. But would you understand where you have been working with art or colours or something to do with the aura at the moment? Does that make sense to you? Because I just get a sense that your Gran, all right, okay, but I just get a sense that your Gran wants you to pick up those colours again. She's saying felt tip pens, but I just feel that, I don't know if you've been thinking about working with colour in what you do, but I feel that you're getting a lot of encouragement from your Gran. And this dog has just put his paws up on my lap. So I feel that this dog used to like tidbits. Someone used to give him the odd biscuit or odd tidbit here. Something about sausages. So I feel the dog loves sausages. So I just feel that they're both here for you, and your gran also loves that your passion for animals, your passion for them, and you stick up for them. You know, you think that you have a great passion for the animal kingdom, and your gran just steps forward and she's so proud of you, and she just wants to give you a great big hug and to ask you to pick up those colours, and also not to doubt yourself, because you've got a lot within you. You've got a lot of love for what you do. Wonderful. Well, pick up those colours now, because never mind the colouring book that you had when you were a child. I feel you've got to sit with these colours. You work with colours and colouring books. That's amazing. Well, I feel, because I'm seeing a blank sheet of paper now, so I feel your gran wants you to see what can you draw. Yep. I know I hate felt tips as well, Stace, but use pens, and you love your animals. But I don't know if you're going to be drawing animals or whether you're going to be drawing people, but just sit and see what comes from spirit, because your gran is definitely give you the thumbs up, and go ahead. That's my girl, she's saying. That's my girl. So take her love. Take her love.
Brilliant. What a lovely message. And that, as they say, is that. What a wonderful way to end on. And a wonderful show as well.
Absolutely.
Karen, thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure. I love it. I love Monday mornings with you on here.
We do. Thank you so much. And of course, a big thank you to our guest, Marie.
Yes.
We must not go without saying a big thank you to producer Richard for looking after us and keeping us on the straight and narrow, or at least trying to.
Yeah.
And a big thank you to everyone at home who's taken part, joined in the debate, the conversation, answered our requests for sending out those messages as well. God bless to you all. Thank you all so very much. We'll be back next week together again.
Yes, together again.
Don't forget, tonight we've got Claire Pasterfield. Tomorrow night we've got the lovely Deb Clark. And then on Wednesday we've got Hannah McIntyre. Do not forget, we are running out of time to get your Divine Oracle cards. So get your order in. It is essential that we are able to produce these, because I want a pack and I've put my order in myself. So do go and make a purchase if you can. But for now, from the both of us, it's good afternoon and goodbye from me.
And it's good afternoon and goodbye from me. And lots of love to you all. It's been fabulous.
God bless. See you all soon. Take care.
Bye.